Welcome back to Etihad Stadium. The Swans have extended their lead to 52 points at three-quarter time. I'm with the Essendon Club Dr. Bruce Reid, who attended Troy Pennell, the umpire that left the field. How is he?
He's good now. He's good now. He probably lost a bit of consciousness, was vomiting on the field. That was one of the problems, and he's got memory loss. He thought he was only out on the ground for about a minute. I don't know how long it was. It looked like about 4, but he's much better now. He's spoken to his wife. He's got no neck injury. It's just a knock to the back of the head, and his memory and everything's coming back now. So
well, is he leaving the ground straight away, or will he wait here for a while?
To be watched for a couple of hours. We've got the umpire's physio watching him now. We'll go down and check him again now. He'll be fine.
Thanks for your time.
Thanks, Tim.
Thanks for that, Tim. What are your thoughts on the last quarter, guys?
Well, I mean, it's a basic problem Essendon have had. They had a pretty good third quarter. They kicked 1 goal 3.
Yeah, the effort was there. There was clearly the inspirational speech at half-time.
That must have been it.
But the effort, the contest was there, the contested possessions and the tackles, but ineffective in the front half.
Margin 52 points starting the final term at Etihad. Friday night football. Good bounce too from umpire Farmer. Very good at that. Kennedy out wide. Hitting the pack hard was Parker, and they hit him hard. They'll have the ball up. Gee.
I find it interesting that, I mean, they're getting beaten at both extremities of the ground, Essendon, I reckon, but they haven't altered the structure in that part of the ground. I mean, their midfielders going reasonably, but they haven't really altered their defence or their forward line structure much at all.
Bell Chambers to a man under pressure. Heppel went back to Bagley. Now it's with Stanton. Just jams it marginally forward of the wing, and Ambrose comes at full tilt and takes the mark. Good news on the umpire, Troy Pennell. Okay, that's not 15. Heppel hacks his way out of there. Well done. Under pressure. Sends a kick down towards the 50. And what a kick it was. Under the chest of Jackson Merritt. Zaharakis, 15 possessions in the third term. And the first of the final quarter is a beauty right onto the chest of Paddy Ryder.
It's a good Paddy Ryder coming out of the square.
It's just made a difference too, though, since they started to play on the Bombers, isn't it? They're giving their forwards some chance of actually finding some space.
And that was probably the dilemma, really, when they were thinking about subbing. If Bell Chambers came off, then Ryder would probably have to go onto the ball. And he has looked dangerous down there. That kick, not so flash. He misses to the left-hand side.
It's missed a couple, Tim, but he's, as you say, he's been the most likely, hasn't he?
Yeah.
So Sydney so accurate tonight after the travails of last week. So there's a ball out there on the ground, actually. They'll get it back now. What a quarter by Zaharakis. Hurley, gee, he's had a tough night. Soldiering on, kicking to full forward. Carlisle getting involved. Well done, Jake. Well, the sub, eh? Huge roar for him here.
This passage of play here from Jake Carlisle shows you what he's physically capable of. It's a contest. He's picked the ball up off the ground and shrugged the tackle and bent the ball around the body. So he's got all the tools, just needs to get it to happen more consistently.
Bell Chambers won it down. Zaharakis had it. Tackled by Parker. Quick whistle.
Out. Came back out. Straight back. Thank you,
45
David.
points the margin.
Straight back. Josh, straight back. Thank you.
Derricks ran into Bell Chambers. Didn't move him. Hurried kick around the corner came from Kennedy. With the outside of the boot, Dempsey just coughs it up straight to Smith, to Hanbury. Hanbury out wide, going after a Tippett. Missed there by Hooker. He's let Tippett back into the game. Here's Franklin. Hasn't added to his 4 goals in the first half and won't here. Wide of the mark, and Fletcher goes back.
Good save from Fletcher. He does that so often. Running it out. Heppel goes back to Hooker. Hooker's been on top of Tippett, but he got away and kicked a couple. Smith going forward and finding McVeigh, who kicked 2 goals in the opening term from further out than this. And a feature of Sydney tonight is the fact that they have been very, very efficient in front of goal. Something they didn't do last week. I mean, Franklin with those 7 behinds famously. The whole team were missing a few last week.
You can change very quickly accuracy for goal. That is one thing that changes a lot from week to week. 15-4 tonight. They've been dead eyes.
And they're 10 from 10, Lee, on the set shots tonight. Yeah. So they haven't missed one. So pressure's on McVeigh, eh? And he's made it 11 from 11. He's kicked 3. That's a big return for him. Wayne, let's have a look at Sydney's next 4. Where do they get their wins, do you reckon?
Well, you think it would be a very good game against the Cats. You'd expect them to get the Suns and another ripper against Port Adelaide. So they've got a tough 3 weeks ahead. Guaranteed one. Toss of the coin, the other two.
Hocking does nicely. Goes with the right boot. Play on was the call. It was touched. Ambrose appealing that it was a mark. Well, the umpire said it often enough. He's a bit lucky there. I think he called the bluff of the umpire.
Swans are going to make the sub. Brandon Jack has taken off the sub vest at this stage.
Knocked wide there by Goddard. McVeigh cleverly to his own advantage. Goes to Reid. Sweeps it inside to Kennedy. Now Jetta flirting with the idea of running on. Goes back to Kennedy. Kennedy, top end of the goal, or centre square rather. Looks for Tippett on the lead coming up from the goal square, and he's marked about 40 metres out directly in front.
And Adam Goods has taken the subs vest, boys, so he's made the change.
Can I change my mind, Bruce? If they play like this, 3 out of 3.
Okay.
I'll tell you what, there'll be 3 attractive games of footy, won't they? The Suns, Port Adelaide and Geelong.
Well,
it's a good month.
Poor old Cale Hooker was the master of this battle for the first half and a bit. But Tippett, give him his due, has fought back pretty strongly. This one is out to the right, but I think it's good enough. So he's got 3. Second half goals, all of them.
Just have a look at Josh Kennedy through the middle here. Just 2 or 3 touches. Every decision correct. Every skill execution correct. He's a good player.
Does he get enough recognition outside of Sydney, you think?
I think he does now.
Yeah.
I think he does now. It takes a while to work your way from being very good, you know, to absolutely elite in people's minds anyway.
So Hibbert to Melsham, and then Melsham squeezing to the pocket. Lee, I'm going to be cheeky. He must be getting close to your top 7 that you talked about in the countdown tonight.
You'll know in about 7 weeks' time, Bruce.
Okay,
We only do it about every 7 weeks.
That's the last
Not
time.
every half a game.
That's the last time I'm going to ask you about that tonight.
Boundary throw in. Bill Chambers looking to direct it behind the pack. There's that man again. Sends it high towards the wing, and a good grab there. Got the ball at its highest point, Sam Reid. And he's virtually come back and under the radar a little because of all the hype surrounding both Franklin and Tippett playing together for the first time last week. But Reid came back as well, and he's fitted in very nicely. Good to quiet night, but working his way back after a long break. Derricks knocks it down, slapped away by Watson. McVeigh falling to the ground. Smith, Bird, that was good judgment. Saw the man cruising past was under pressure, come short to Parker. Parker, a ferocious competitor. I don't think it's my imagination, but when he's got the ball, they come at him pretty hard too. Trying to repay him in kind. As the ball goes down towards half forward, over the top, Ryder just slaps it out of bounds.
Just noticing Josh Kennedy, Tom, you pointed out 20 contested possessions.
Yeah.
That's, I'm pretty sure, for the 22nd time in his career, which is adding to the all-time record that he's got.
6 times more than Gary Ablett is the next best, I think.
And I think 1999 was when they started taking those out. Jack brilliantly. Jetta to Bird. What a good night Bird's having again. Gets to full forward. Franklin trying to get rid of Hurley. Can Buddy do it again? Well, he's kept his average up. 5 against the Bombers.
It's that one-on-one. Adam Goods is interesting in the Swans lineup. Whether can he get fit enough? He has to be a running, almost a half-forward flanker. They've got plenty of height with Reid and Tippett and Franklin. Can he be a running half-forward? Can he get fit enough at this stage of his career?
Apple helps the ball on its way down towards half-forward. Shaw with dash across half-back. Little chip out wide, and the mark is taken by Bird. So Kennedy with a game-high 35 possessions. If you think back to last time these sides met, he got the 3 Brownlow votes. He's well on the way again tonight. Talking about players who play well against clubs. Grundy comes to Richards. He's in right half back. Can switch back and does. Here's Rampy. Now we can go up the middle. Shaw has it. Running hard is Melcheski. Next link in the chain. Cruises past the centre circles. Sends it inside the forward 50. Almost the mark down there to Hurley. Followed up, did nicely. Gave it to Dempsey. Dempsey short. Jackson Merritt. He's in right half back and wants to go. Low and awkward to mark. Carlisle couldn't. Going to ground was Rampy. We'll get a whistle and the ball up.
Tim, I just got to ask you the question. I read the paper this week about the Asada, the supplement saga, and just the wearing down effect of the club. I mean, Sydney have been magnificent tonight.
Oh,
I might come back to you. Tim, what do you think about it all?
Well, I think it will eventually wear them down. I'm not sure what the effects have been at this point, but I think eventually it will wear them down, Macca.
Dempsey just missing. So
there's been a lot of talk, obviously, this week, and they can't escape that talk. And I think at some point, no matter what they try and do about talking about the fact that they've got a cocoon there and they're only going to worry about things that they can control, there's just that level of uncertainty all the time about what is going to happen, and that has to have an effect at some stage.
Malcheski drives it up towards the wing. Reid couldn't complete the mark. Brandon Jack in trouble. Myers got him. Hibbert the half volley. Watson. Zaharakis, spectacular third term. Trying to lift his teammates. Touched on the mark. Comes across towards Hocking. It was a well-weighted hand pass into the path of Hibbert, who ran onto it, and as a result, young Aylett can kick a goal. 40 metres out, decides against it, gives it to Bell Chambers, standing in the goal square. His comeback match has been pretty good tonight.
He's got through the whole game. There was talk that perhaps he may have been a sub, but he's getting miles into his legs.
Kicks his first goal.
I know they've been badly beaten tonight, but there's certainly a better team with both Bell Chambers and Ryder there, don't you think?
Yeah.
The Bombers.
Yeah, and Bell Chambers, it's all about getting miles into his legs, so he's going to play the full game, and that's a positive for the Bombers.
G. Ryder good there. Stanton going forward. Watson, who's in the forward 50 for the moment. Massive opening half for Watson. We shouldn't forget Derricks and the fact that he's been able to hold the Swans rucks together with no Pike in the last couple of weeks. I mean, it's been a big effort by him, hasn't it?
Just builds the story of the players traded from other clubs. Some have been superstars like Tippett and Franklin, obviously, but you know, Derricks, Laidler, Ted Richards, remarkable recruiting.
And ironically, Richmond could probably have used him with Merrick's being injured in the last few weeks. Fletcher off that step. The big switch out wide. Heppel's brave. He'll stay under it, and he does, and takes the mark. What a great story at half-time it was with the two Heppel boys.
That was great, wasn't it?
Aaron could almost,
bit of life in those two.
I reckon Aaron could almost come out and play the second half. We wouldn't have known the difference, except he's a right footer. Let's hope he makes it at the AFL level. It'd be something, wouldn't it? He's a good player, this young fella. Had his birthday on Wednesday. Doesn't quite get it. Hits it behind. That's the one thing probably that's been missing from his game. He hasn't been a high goal scorer so far, but he's a getter. Big numbers.
And he's a beautiful kick too, so you get the sense that that'll come as he develops further into his really good young career.
Just 16 in his career so far. Here's Malcheski to the outer side, stretching his Franklin. Hurley there, step for step, well played. Zach Merritt in trouble. Dempsey does brilliantly. Treads the light, fantastic, then coughs it up as he kicks it straight to Kennedy. No margin for error there for Dempsey, but he found a way through. And now Kennedy's got the footy. Halfway through this final term on Friday Night Football. There's Parker. An emerging player, Parker. Ball comes across the face of goal, taken by Richards. Kennedy's personal best is 40, currently at 36. This ball ricochets offshore, close to the boundary line, picked up by Hocking. Gave it to Goddard. Shaw came again, slapped it away. Lloyd had the football momentarily, taken by Hocking. Down he goes. Goddard is claimed. Well done by Lloyd getting back into the contest. Now backing off, doing well there. 37 for Kennedy. Bird gives it across towards a man at full stretch. That's Malcheski. Malcheski to Hanbury. Hanbury might kick a goal. No, just out to the left-hand side. 40 possessions for him last week as well.
I reckon Buddy's a bit disappointed there. He was on, wasn't he?
He was on. Was.
Did you notice that duck, did you?
I sure did. He had all the space, didn't he?
He was thinking 6, wasn't he? Does it make a difference if you kick 5 or 6, Lee and Wayne? You kicked about 1,300 between you. Well, I don't more than that.
Yeah.
1,700.
You want as many as you can get, Bruce.
That's it, yeah.
Ryder. Dempsey. Up and under. Zach Merritt and also Ambrose. Dempsey with that run. That's a beautiful pickup. And then off a stride, getting the ball inside the forward 50. Grundy and Bell Chambers. Stanton rolling it forward. Getting it. Not quite. Didn't get the bounce. And it just goes out in the hooker pocket, eh? And a boundary throw in. The yellow strip there, of course, for Men's Health tonight. The call to arms game.
So boundary throw in. Clock running down on this one. 1:13:57. Derricks and Bell Chambers. Derricks directs it down. Watson back over his shoulder. Zaharakis had some space there. Hibbert didn't. Now Parker picks it up. Short one on the lead is Tippett. Derricks still running on. He's a very fit big man because he's got reason to be tired. He's taken the opposition virtually on by himself tonight in the tall man department. Franklin used his body on Hurley, just nudged him out of the way. And that was a clever mark. He's got 5 tonight, buddy.
Reset. You can't come into the protected area. Do a kick again.
That was his teammate that came into the protected area.
There it is. Come back on.
So, buddy, 8 goals last time he played against Essendon. Round 18 for Hawthorn. He's butted up again. It's just remarkable how he kicks all these goals against one club. I mean, he's kicked a lot of goals in his career, but Essendon really seemed to be his bunny.
Yeah, no doubt about that, Dan. I mean, he's going at 5 a match and 50 in his last 8. That's plugger-like stuff. That's what he did against Collingwood in a stretch. So throw, and I think that free to the Bombers.
Clear out. Hold there.
So he's got 55 in 11. Is that right? Yeah, 55 in 11 and 50 in his last 8 against Essendon. So it doesn't matter what jumper he's wearing, eh?
No.
Bagley out wide. Carlisle used his body pretty well. Kicked a goal in this quarter. Was the sub. Was a surprising choice. It was the first big shock of the night, wasn't it? The Carlisle was the sub.
Seems to matter what the other crowd are wearing, though. Has to be red and black. He orders it up from room service.
He does pretty well against Collingwood as well, to be truthful.
Something about the black bit. Boundary throw in. Derricks again. Tiptoes up and wins the tap. Well played. Hanbury goes with the right boot out of the congestion. Reid kept his eye on the football. In fairness, so did Bagley going back. Merritt gave it across to his brother. It was Jackson to Zach. Now through midfield, Fletcher gave it to Hibbert. Running on, and the mark is taken by Ambrose right on the 50. He was involved. It just kept going from 55 metres out. Can Carlisle mark it in play? Juggles it, but not across the line. That's a mark. Grundy, quick thinking, tried to push him back across the line while he was busy juggling the ball. But Carlisle stood his ground. Got to say Grundy too, an underestimated defender. He just does it every week, generally against taller opposition. A lot to like about him.
15 seconds.
Carlisle.
15. That's right. 10, no, 10. No.
They're waiting for him, but they won't get there in time, and Carlisle snaps his second goal.
So, Wayne, you've given us your top 5, and now the punters give their votes on it. Go through them, mate.
Yeah, well, I've got Buddy Franklin. Kennedy has been absolutely brilliant. Joe Watson's first half was sensational. I think Jack and Heppel finish off the last 2. Heppel has been very good all night, shown a lot of courage.
So what do you think at home? So great names and all played well, obviously. The 3-2-1 would be pretty interesting because Sydney have had such a big win. You'd think that they'd have to sort of dominate the Brownlow votes, wouldn't you?
Generally the way it goes. Fletcher got it from Dempsey. Hibbert trying to close him down. Jack needed to be a precise kick. Well, it found the chest of Heppel, but arriving at the same time as the footy was rampy and the ball ricochets out of bounds.
Speaking about Josh Kennedy, we mentioned how many times he's had 20-plus contested possessions. He's also had 10 clearances, and that's the 9th time he's had 20 contested possessions and 10 clearances, equal with Gary Ablett. They're the 2 standouts of the modern era.
Bird steals it after the boundary throw in, kicks it down towards right half forward. Franklin arrives quickly. Hurley to Hooker. Good pressure coming from Buddy there. Hurley confronted by Reid, gets the kick off up towards the wing. Bell Chambers, good grab. He's really working into this game. Timmy said he was underdone. Well, he's still pushing close to the boundary line. This one goes out. Good contest at the footy from Heppel and Richards. Richards the last man to get up of the 2. And a throw in right at the interchange gates.
Yeah, I think we were all under the impression that Bell Chambers might be another 2 weeks away or a week away. He has been pretty impressive. Certainly probably more after half-time, but a good effort. Jackson, Merritt running straight into Rampy. Hanbury. His bump on Hurley will be a massive talking point at the end of tonight. Hocking giving him one to go on with. Adam Goods subbed out. Interesting stage of his career. I mean, coming back 34 years back. Australian of the Year as well, doing a lot of stuff outside of footy. I guess he's always done that, but just taking a while. Goddard, clever. Stanton has to be quick now. Good little give coming from Merritt. Well done, Stanton, running on. Back from Aylett. Hibberd with a good long leg. Not straight. And behind.
There's no doubt. I mean, the recruiting of Franklin's on the understanding, the real understanding that Goods is in the last year or two of his career. So he will just be a little bit of crewing for the Swans from this point onwards. But if he can get to anywhere near fitness and touch, he's a wonderfully talented player.
He's going to be better served if he plays in the front half, kicking his goals, running towards goals, as opposed to coming up, leading up at the ball, isn't he? He's going to be the player who gets it over the top.
Jake Lloyd got it to Malcheski, involved in a collision with Troy Pennell, the umpire tonight. And Pennell came off the ground. He told he is okay. That'll be an interesting affair in the aftermath of this one too. So a bit to talk about, despite the fact that it's been a little lopsided on the scoreboard. Smith comes to Malcheski again. Going sideways at the moment. Wants somebody to come at him. Goes down the line. Still a live football picked up by Dempsey. He's tried hard, particularly in the second half. Goddard has been good all night. Went to Merritt. Jackson Merritt gave it to Aylett. Aylett's hand pass intended for Stanton. Very ambitious. Jack gets back.
Gets the half forward. Hurley. He's been in the wars a bit, but he's battled on. Myers back on the team again tonight after his injury. And then Zaharakis getting it from Fletcher. Had 14 disposals in the third quarter, Zaharakis. Here's Aylett. Yes, just gets the kick away. Good battle here. Ryder works at the front. Oh, Richards should have given a free kick away, I reckon, there. Taking Ryder out of it, and then off for step Shaw, finding Malcheski and now slowing it down.
Have been good, Shaw, Malcheski and Ramby, haven't they, across half-back?
And again, Essendon. I think Essendon were averaging 64 points in their last 5 games, and that's exactly what they're on at the moment. They're really struggling to score. Hanbury, well done. Getting the ball away. Franklin outnumbered this time. Hurley works it to the front. Fletcher, Buddy coming in late. Back to Myers. Myers going back to Goddard. Goddard over 30 now, up to 31. And I reckon Zach Merritt, well, we've talked a bit about him. I know he's been fantastic.
Zaharakis, great second half. Goes across the ground, but obviously not enough for the Bombers tonight. Not enough players buying in either. There's the short one from Dempsey, barely 15. The kicker and the marking player cross after about 3 steps each. As the ball goes down towards the pocket, Grundy again got his first on it. Bird, Merritt, or rather Jetta. Short one comes to Cunningham, who decides to run it up. And then uses the run of Shaw out wide, and Reid. So much to like about the Sydney Swans right now. Been transformed. They're going for 5 straight tonight. They're going to get it. And this young man, Tom, tell us a little bit about him.
Yeah, he's been good. He's from Victoria, an 18-year-old, turning 19 this year, picked up in the rookie draft. And we talk about the recycled players and the traded players. Recycled's unfair. 7 of them playing for the Swans tonight. There are also 7 elevated rookies, so 14 of their 22 are from, I guess, non-traditional recruitment. It's a remarkable story and a remarkable stat.
Gee, lovely build-up here too. Cunningham getting it from Malcheski. And then Cunningham, well, not far enough apparently. Malcheski's little give. Kennedy waiting, goes back, gets to Jack. Jack's been another fantastic play. Beautiful kick. That's a free kick to Bird, not paid. Parker and Bird over the one ball. Back to Parker, flipping it back. Zaharakis bending his back, getting it back to Myers, going back to Goddard. So massive numbers for Goddard tonight. Short to Aylett, takes the mark. Aylett, oh, dangerous. Hibberd takes that. Oh, no, doesn't take the mark. Tackle pressure coming from Lloyd, the boy they were talking about a moment ago. Getting Hibberd almost down. Jack, ball not quite out. Melsham and also Smith. Now Kennedy again. This would top it off. Well, getting back. Hooker, has he got the 40, Kennedy? What's
39, Bruce.
39, so 40's his career high.
Hooker goes short. Watson on the stretch. The clock running on Kennedy. As Watson goes out wide, of course, he'd be oblivious to that, wouldn't care less. Zaharakis. Bounces around the outer side, has had 30 possessions himself. All bar 8 have come in the second half as he goes inside the forward 50. Bell Chambers finds it on the ground. The two big guys, Ryder and Bell Chambers, not their worst players tonight by a long shot. Down towards full forward. Grundy took care of Carlisle, almost took the mark, slung it across to a teammate in Smith, gave it to Jenner. Jenner kicks to midfield. Hurley, the recipient of a couple of hard knocks tonight. Well played by Myers. Good to see him back. He'll be better for this run. Fletcher to Goddard. Goddard goes back inside the forward 50. And fitting, really, that in the dying moments, Derricks, he's been overshadowed by some big names tonight, but he has been very good. He's done what was required of him. He's taken on a couple of tall men, in fact, probably 3 over the course of the night with Danaher when he's come up trumps.
He might be a used car, Derricks, but I'd buy him. He's got a good engine, hasn't he?
He certainly has.
So the Swans have a big win. They set it up early. Franklin was a star. Hanbury, well, a bit to think about tonight. Played very well, but the big collision with Hurley. Jack part of a midfield that dominated. Tippett got his 3, and Sydney win 5 in a row and cement that spot in the top 4. They're a good side. Down to you, Jude, with Buddy.
Against the Bombers, 5-1's a little bit better than 2-7, though.
Yeah, it is. Finally had my kicking boots on tonight. Last week was disappointing not to kick my goals, and tonight I kicked straight, which was really good.
How well poised is the club right now going into a bye?
Yeah, I think we're playing at 5 on a trot now, so we're poised pretty well, and we're playing some pretty good football. So there's still a long season to go, and the old cliche, mate, one game at a time. But Joey Kennedy was in top form again tonight, and our midfielders are on top, and give our forwards a good chance.
Enormous amount of depth with the club at the moment, with boasting Tom Mitchell, O'Keefe, those sort of guys in the reserves.
Yeah, we've got good young players and senior players playing seconds up in Sydney, and we've got great depth at the football club at the moment. So if a player does come out, we've got good players to come in. So it's exciting times.
What's on for the bye?
Might head home back to Perth for the weekend, so it'll be good.
Enjoy. Cheers, man.
Cheers.
So he's poised on 599 career goals, eh? So a good night for Buddy, a really good night for him. Goddard and McVeigh together both had good matches, really good matches. Down to you, Tim.
I'm here with Dan Hanbury. Dan, that was a great win by the Sydney Swans, 5 in a row now, and the season well and truly back on track.
Yeah, certainly. Obviously, the first month of footy probably wasn't our best. We made a big focus to work a bit harder and try to be what we call more consistent, which we were tonight. And it's just good to have a good solid win going to the bye.
And that forward line's really starting to work now too. I mean, Buddy was enormous again tonight.
Yeah, he was really good. Obviously, he had a pretty tough start to the year, which has been well documented, but he started to work really hard and get some rewards, and he's settling into the footy side, and the boys love him around the footy club, so great for him, and it's good for the footy club.
One of the more difficult parts of the game now, the bump. Dan, we know that you collided with Michael Hurley tonight. Just take us through what you were thinking at the time.
Well, to be honest with you, I didn't even really see him until I actually collided with him. I was in the footy, and happened so quickly, I sort of didn't even know what had happened. Really, I had to ask the doc, so to be honest with you, guys would know more than me. I was sort of in the moment, so I didn't really see what was going on.
You came off at the time. Was that? Did he get you in the ribs? Is that right?
Yeah, in the ribs. Yeah, in the ribs. So they were pretty sore, but got the all clear from the doctor, which was good, and able to come back on.
Thanks for your time. Well done tonight.
Cheers, Tim. Thanks, mate.
Good on you, Tim. So another very good match for Dan. So just that little worry there is Michael Hurley. Jake Carlisle was the sub. He kicked a couple in the last quarter.
Yeah, Hurley, he boxed on pretty bravely tonight. I think he's had over 20 possessions himself. He had his hands full with Buddy Franklin, and he was in the wars and a number of times came off quite lame. It was interesting footage there with the Hanbury contest with Hurley. Clearly had eyes on the ball the whole time, so that is the greyest area. There was no intent in the bump. However, it was head-high contact for Hurley, wasn't it?
For sure, no doubt about that. So Sydney with that bye, and then that tough run. And look, Tippett alongside Frank there. 8 between them again. Last week, 6 between them. Tonight, 8 between them.
He looks so dangerous. The hook was good on Tippett. I mean, he did his part, but gee, if you haven't got a big, strong defender, Tippett is going to be imposing deep. And Franklin, as we know, is now again the running, marking player that has built such a massive reputation over the years.
And Tippett 2 matches back, 7 goals. I mean, it's
yeah, he did the same last year, didn't he? You're sort of looking at him, you feel that he's the type of player that needs touch, but the past 2 seasons have suggested he gets the flow of the game pretty quickly when he comes back from an extended break.
I'm not sure right now if I pick anyone to beat them. Maybe Port Adelaide and Adelaide, maybe Geelong at Geelong. Hawthorn at their best, but they haven't got their best team. I don't think I'll pick anyone else to beat them.
Well, so their defence is really solid. Got good run and bounce. Their midfield, they've got plenty in there with Jack and Kennedy, a high-class Hanbury. And that forward line has got a lot of options.
And it also
hard to stop them kicking 15 goals.
I mean, their defence is where their age is. Richards and Grundy are probably older players, but the rest of the side, the midfield is young. The forwards, I mean, Franklin and Tippett are young enough.
Both about 27, probably in their prime, to be honest.
They're a team in their prime right now, I think.
In terms of their age. Look, Franklin has turned the clock back a bit with those overhead marking. That's been the big difference in the last couple of weeks. We always know he's capable of having a good night, but the way he's doing it, I think.
Oh, yeah, just amazing, really, that, you know, for whatever the whys and wherefores in the house, getting Tippett and Franklin into the team in the last 2 seasons are just massive ins for any team in the competition there. So that's really top Sydney off.
And it would be interesting now if you ask the viewers, is he worth the big money? I mean, everyone's been down on Buddy this year. Right now, his stocks are higher than they've been any other time this year.
Right now he is. I mean, the debate always centres around the length of the contract, but as it stands right now, he's at the upper echelon of players in the competition. That's what those players get paid.
Well, if football's week to week, you're certainly year to year. So the first year of his contract is looking pretty good in these last few weeks. What happens in the next 8 years? It's a massive period of time. That's it's a long-term, a massive investment. We know that, but for the moment, it's making them a better team right now, no doubt.
4 matches on the road for Sydney this year, 4 wins. So they've won every match away from home. They've been able to take care of the business away from Sydney this year. Ironically, struggled at home early, didn't they?
Yeah. Been perennial late starters to seasons, and that's 5 in a row now for the Swans.
Here we go. Big win for the Swans over the Bombers. They make it 5 in a row. It was a 50-point margin in the end. Plenty more to come on Carlton Draft Friday Night Footy as we take a look at all the controversial incidents from tonight and the press conferences and a wrap of what's happening this weekend.
Saturday night, it's Pav's 300th, and we'll celebrate the occasion in style as the Dockers take on the Cats. The ever-eccentric Fremantle coach Ross Lyon will join the panel live. Plus, all the behind-the-scenes action from Warney and Mick Malloy's star-studded full moon party before Mick takes on the Saturday night lie detector.
Lingy's not as good a bloke as Richard, but they're both better blokes than Luke Darcy.
This fixture has history. You won't want to miss the next instalment.